Hey everyone, it's JC. I'm coming today with a quick video because I'm getting a comment through email, YouTube comments. I'm getting it over and over and over, and it's breaking my heart. So we have to talk about it for a minute because I had the same feeling myself. It's the idea that because I'm a faith-based health and wellness channel, and we talk about food issues and combining them with our faith in Christ and his deliverance, I get the comment a lot, that people will say to me, I've struggled with this or that type of disordered eating or binge eating or sugar addiction or whatever. I've struggled and struggled and struggled. And this is what they'll say. I have prayed and prayed and prayed. And I have asked him over and over and over. And most of the time they don't finish that thought, which would be, he has failed me. He has not answered me. He has not healed me. I'm in the same horrible space. I keep failing. I keep falling. Why hasn't he helped me? I don't always get that part of it, but I get the part, I have prayed about this for so long. I have asked the Lord to remove it. And then ... in my mind, he has not. That's why it breaks my heart, because we know from scripture, he does not fail us or forsake us, that he will ask and ye shall receive, knock and it shall be open to you. Over and over, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. We know he's made those promises, and I've made videos about those things. So for those who come to me and say, I've asked him, I've already been asking him, why have I not changed? Why have I not healed? Can we just talk about one little answer that I tell people over and over? And this was my journey. Many of the people I coach, to picture the answer. I tried to get a visual aid. I couldn't find one in my house. So I want you to imagine like a ball of yarn or string that has gotten so tangled up and knotted. Have you ever had that, like in your house, where if you try to tug on it and untangle it, it's so knotted, you think, this is going to take me hours, and you either throw it away or you ignore it because it's just a big mess, right? That's what I want you to picture as our disordered eating, whatever that looks like for you. We all have different issues that we struggle with, but it's big, knotted mass. And we take our little mass of mess and we kneel down and we hand it to the Lord and say, please take this away. I can't live like this. Please take this away. Please heal this. Absolutely, he wants to do that and is able to do that. But I think what we hope he'll do is just take it. And one day we'll wake up and suddenly we'll just feel the willpower and have the strength, and we'll just eat differently, and it'll all just poof, like be fixed. And maybe occasionally I have had emails that someone will say to me, he just took it away. He just took that desire for that binging away. I love when he does that. Why then, for some of us, is that not happening? That was not my experience. Think of the value as we come to the Lord. If he just took that mess out of our lives, we wouldn't understand how we got there in the first place. We wouldn't understand the whys, what got us in that mess. But if he takes it and goes, okay, child, let's work on this little knot first. Let's not worry about the whole thing right now. Let's just start with one little knot. As he did that with me, I started to realize there were layers and layers making up the mess of my disordered eating. Not everything is like that in our lives, and maybe your story isn't like that. But for so many of us, especially if we've struggled for decades, it's made up of multiple complicated knots. For instance, one knot he started with on me was helping me understand the science behind what processed food and sugar were doing to my brain, my emotions, and my body. Not just gaining weight, we're talking about depression in me, irritability, like emotional darkness. A lot of the things that I had no idea were tied to the sugar. I had to be educated on that. It was like we took the ball and slowly undid that knot as I learned more and more. And then the more I learned about the food, I could choose it of my own volition. He didn't magically have to say, poof, you're different. He taught me to see in a new way, to reframe the way I see food. And suddenly I could choose it with my own agency because I saw differently. I was thinking of the word repentance, and I've done a video on that. I had such a change in my mind around food that I could work to undo the knot myself. I didn't need his magical. I was like, oh wait, no, yeah, I agree with that. Let's undo that knot. Another knot for me that took a lot of time to undo was the fact that I wasn't just eating for the taste. I wasn't just eating for the hit on my tongue. I was trying to fill a void here. My soul hunger when I was tired or stressed or upset or irritated or bored or whatever. I used food to fill the hole that only God should fill. I used it as my deliverer, as my rescuer, my redeemer on a bad day. I turned to food. And he said, this is the big knot at the root of the whole ball. And just because he pointed out that I did it, I still went, okay, but how do I stop? And he and I had to walk through that process. That's why I created Satisfied, my Satisfied class, because it's an answer to that. How does Christ fill the way that candy bar normally hits? How do I get him to fill that void? And so can you see sometimes by seeing that when we kneel down and say, heal it, he'll be saying to us, I want to do that. Yes, let's do that. But guess what? It's not going to be one day fixed. It's going to be messy, and it's going to take patience and grace. And you're going to have to work on each knot so that you understand what caused this ball in the first place, how to get it smooth, and then how to live in a way so it doesn't just get knotted up again. That journey with him also, I will say, bonded me to him in a way that I'm very thankful he didn't just poof, take the ball. He taught me communication with him. Our relationship deepened as we began to explore each knot and undo it slowly, a bit at a time, so I could stay free. So when people say to me, I have prayed and prayed and prayed, and he has not answered me, I'm still a mess. Why? I've tried to make this a faith-based approach. What I will say often is we need to change our expectation a little bit. We're not going to the Lord and saying, please just remove this. Maybe we go to him and say, I know you have the ability to heal this in me. I know you do. I know I can do all things through your strength. What's the next step? What's the next lie I need to unlearn? What's the next piece I need to be educated on? What's the next thing I need to enlighten about this little ball of mess? What's the next knot we need to start working on and undo? What does this journey need to look like? What is the next right thing? What book do I need to read? What website do you need to lead me to? What coach do I need to work with? Do you see how it could be a million answers? I can't say, here's how you undo the ball with the Lord's help, because your ball looks different than mine. And he alone knows what that process needs to look like. But it's not that he hasn't answered our prayer. It's that we perhaps didn't understand what the journey of healing needed to look like. It also could be that he respected timing and we were asking, but we weren't really as ready as we said we were to be healed. It's like the different people that he healed in the New Testament. He would often go to them and say, what do you want me to do for you? Which seems unusual for a blind man to say, I want my sight. Like, why would you ask me that question? What do you want me to do for you? But he's assessing readiness. Are you really ready to live in a new way? How ready are you to move to this next step? Maybe our first knot we need to work through is that we're not really ready. We say we want to, but we're clinging pretty tight to this coping mechanism of food, and maybe he needs to help us release our grip. Can you see maybe how we could think about this in a new way? That it's not that he has failed us. It's not that he's forsaken us. It's that we haven't quite understood what the process needs to look like. That's why I've created my channel. I almost feel like each video is a different possible knot, potential knot in the big bundle of yarn. I've come at it from so many different angles because I wanted to show that this sometimes is the most complex, for many of us, most complex battle of our lives. But he is able, no matter how big and complicated and hard this may be, we will develop a closer relationship as we walk through this with him, and we'll be grateful for the journey. I hope that was helpful. I'll put some links below of maybe some videos that talk about the different types of knots and how to begin unraveling, and hopefully he can lead you. Don't just watch him because I put him there. Watch him. Maybe if he leads you, watch that one. That will be our next knot. I'll put some examples, but I hope that you'll just turn to him today and ask, what's my next right thing? What's the next step on my own personal journey? Take care, guys. Have a great week.